London has thousands of hotels, but there is exactly one that describes itself as a place where art, mysticism, and the unconscious collide. One that fills its walls with occult symbolism, original artwork, and living botanical installations. One where the experience is designed deliberately and specifically to alter how you feel. That hotel is the Mandrake, and once you know what it is, you will not be able to stop thinking about it. Here is the truth about luxury hotels in London. Most of them are operating from the same playbook. Beautiful lobbies, impeccable service, rooms with the right thread count and the right minibar, and the right view of the right part of the city. All of it executed brilliantly, all of it completely interchangeable if you remove the logo from the door. The Mandrake is not operating from that playbook. It is not operating from any playbook that existed before it opened. It sits on Newman Street in Fitzrovia, one of London's most creatively charged neighborhoods, historically home to artists, writers, architects, and the kind of people who build things that did not exist before they thought of them. The building is a Victorian townhouse that has been transformed completely and ambitiously into something that operates somewhere between a luxury hotel, a private members club, a contemporary art gallery, and a mystical experience that is genuinely difficult to categorize. 34 rooms, a garden terrace that has become one of the most talked about outdoor spaces in central London, a restaurant and bar concept with its own distinct identity, an art collection that covers the walls, the ceilings, and occasionally the floors, and an atmosphere so specific and so deliberately created that guests either find it completely intoxicating or realize within the first hour that this is not the hotel for them. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which kind of guest you are, and if you are the first kind, this one is going to stay with you. We track hotels that are doing something genuinely original, not just well-designed or well-located, but conceptually distinct. Places that have a clear identity and commit to it completely, regardless of whether the mainstream travel market understands it immediately. The Mandrake has been on our radar since it opened. It is one of the most discussed properties among travelers who take hospitality seriously as a creative discipline. Today, we are giving it the full treatment it deserves. Here is what we are covering. First, the concept, what the Mandrake actually is and what it is trying to do. Then the design and art collection, which is a story in itself. Then the garden and the food and drink experience. And at the end, the one insight about this hotel that explains why it has developed such an intensely loyal following in such a short period of time. Let's get into it. Most hotels are built around a location or a market or a brand standard. The Mandrake was built around an idea. That idea, stated clearly and without apology in everything the hotel does, is that the spaces we inhabit shape our inner life, that the visual and sensory environment around us is not neutral background, that it can be designed to provoke, to unsettle, to inspire, to open up parts of the mind that the ordinary business of daily life keeps firmly closed. The name itself is the first signal. The Mandrake plant has a history in European occult tradition stretching back centuries, associated with magic, with transformation, with the borderlands between the conscious and unconscious mind. It is not a name chosen for its elegance or its market appeal. It is a name chosen because it means something specific about what this place intends to be. The hotel describes its philosophy as one of transformative hospitality. Every element of the guest experience, the art, the design, the food, the programming of events and experiences is oriented toward that transformation, not in a prescriptive way, not in a wellness retreat way, where transformation is scheduled for Tuesday at 10, but in the more subtle and more interesting way of creating an environment so saturated with beauty, symbolism, and creative provocation that something shifts in you simply by spending time inside it. That is an ambitious claim. The remarkable thing about the Mandrake is that it largely delivers on it. Walk into the Mandrake, and the first thing that registers is that this is not a hotel that uses art as decoration. It is a hotel where art is the architecture. The collection is extraordinary, and it is everywhere. Large-scale paintings that command entire walls, sculpture in unexpected places, installations that interact with the light at different times of day. Works by internationally recognized artists alongside pieces by emerging names that the hotel has championed specifically. The design sits within and around all of this. Dark, layered, maximalist in a way that feels intentional rather than excessive. Jewel tones throughout, velvet, brass, dark timber, botanical elements, living plants integrated into the design at every level that brings something organic and slightly wild into what would otherwise be a purely constructed environment. The 34 rooms continue this language individually. Each one has its own character and its own specific art. Staying in different rooms at the Mandrake is genuinely a different experience each time, not just aesthetically, but atmospherically. Some rooms are more intense, some are more sensual. Some have a quietness that makes the art feel meditative rather than stimulating. All of them will make you look at hotel rooms differently for a long time afterward. Now, let us talk about the parts of the Mandrake that have made it a destination for Londoners who do not have a room booked. The Garden Terrace is one of those London hospitality spaces that gets mentioned in the same conversation as the best outdoor experiences the city has to offer. Enclosed, lush with planting, lit in a way that makes the evenings feel genuinely magical. It functions as a private world that is somehow both in the middle of central London and completely removed from it. The restaurant and bar, YOPO, has its own distinct identity rooted in South American culinary and drinking traditions. The food is genuinely excellent rather than being a secondary consideration to the hotel experience. The cocktail program is serious and creative. The atmosphere in the evening is the kind of warm, dimly lit, conversation-encouraging scene that makes you lose track of time in the best possible way. And then there is the programming. The Mandrake hosts events, art openings, talks, performances, intimate concerts that are open to guests and to a wider community of people who are drawn to what the hotel represents. On any given evening, the bar might contain artists, musicians, gallerists, writers, and the kind of curious, engaged people who seek out places that are doing something original. As a guest, you are folded into that world automatically. You are not in a tourist bubble, you are in London's creative life, right in the middle of it. Quick question, and I want real answers in the comments. Does a hotel with this much creative and conceptual ambition appeal to you, or does it feel like too much? Is the idea of staying somewhere that is deliberately trying to affect your inner state exciting or exhausting? Because I think the Mandrake divides people in a really interesting way, and knowing which side of that divide you are on tells you something useful about how you travel. Tell me below. Here is the thing that explains the Mandrake's loyal following better than any description of the design or the art or the garden. Most luxury hotels are in the business of comfort, of removing friction, of making everything seamless and predictable and safe. That is genuinely valuable. It is what most travelers want most of the time. The Mandrake is in the business of experience, of adding something, of giving you an encounter with beauty and strangeness and creative ambition that you were not expecting and cannot entirely explain afterward. The guests who return, and they return with remarkable consistency, are not coming back because the bed was comfortable or the service was flawless, though both are true. They are coming back because their stay at the Mandrake gave them something that they have not found anywhere else: a heightened quality of attention, a sense of being somewhere that was made with complete seriousness and genuine love for the idea behind it. In a city with as many hotels as London, as many excellent, well-run, beautifully designed hotels, that distinction is genuinely rare and genuinely valuable. The Mandrake is not for everyone. It knows that. It has never pretended otherwise. But for the guest, it is built for it is completely irreplaceable. And that is exactly the kind of hotel we are always looking for. So here is the full picture. The Mandrake is a 34-room luxury boutique hotel on Newman Street in Fitzrovia, London. It is built around a philosophy of transformative hospitality. The idea that the spaces we inhabit can genuinely alter our inner experience. The art collection is extraordinary and fully integrated into the design of the building. The Garden Terrace and YOPO restaurant and bar are destinations in their own right. The programming connects guests with London's creative community in a way that no other hotel in the city replicates. And the entire experience is designed for a specific kind of guest: curious, open, creatively engaged, and delivered at the highest possible standard for exactly that person. Remember, a concept hotel built around transformation, a world-class art collection, one of London's great garden terraces, and the rare experience of staying somewhere that was made with a genuinely original idea at its center. If this is the kind of discovery you come here for, subscribe right now. The hotels with real ideas behind them, the properties that most travelers walk straight past. Hit subscribe and you will not miss a single one. And leave a comment. Does the Mandrake appeal to you? Is a hotel built around mysticism and art your idea of the perfect stay? Or your idea of a nightmare? I genuinely want to know. Drop it below. That is the Mandrake. 34 rooms, one very specific idea about what a hotel can be, and a level of creative ambition that London's hospitality scene has not seen anything quite like before or since. In the next video, we are leaving London and heading to the Italian coast. A hotel built into the cliffs above the Amalfi, with a private lift cut into the rock face, and a terrace where the Tyrrhenian Sea fills the entire view from horizon to horizon. That one is going to be hard to follow. Until then, find the hotels with ideas behind them. Find the places that were made by people who cared about something beyond the occupancy rate. That is where the real experiences live.